You're tuning in to Rap Palette with another news update. So this is relatively, I'm gonna talk about it because it's hip hop. So Supreme was just bought out by VF Corporation, same corporation that owns Timberland, and I thought it was really important to know because they was sold for $2.1 billion. Annual revenue I think was $200 million, and they deal that values the New York street man at $2.1 million. Supreme picks up a long-term partner and back-end powers and ambition to scale up past $1 billion in annual sales. So let me read this. Chatters among the fashion followers went into overdrive yesterday when V Corporation, owner of brands like such as Vans, North Face, Timberland, and Dickies, announced it would acquire streetwear pioneer Supreme for $2.1 billion. For Supreme, the move could hardly seem more opposed to its ethos, since its origins as a single New York shop selling to local skate community. Its success has been based on the independent and uncompromising attitude as much as keeping the demand high and supply low. By releasing weekly drops of new products in small quantities, it was already a surprise when founder James Jabila sold half the business in 2017 to a private equity firm, the Carlyle Group, to now having a large publicly traded conglomerate takeover was even more of a shock. It raises the question of whether Supreme can endure or if the brand will lose the element that made it desirable in the first place. Jabia himself once told the New York Times, Supreme needs to be cool to survive. The short answer is the brand probably can survive depending on how you define cool. Niche versus mass cool. In reality, Supreme ditches its cult status long ago. By 2017, the year in when partnered with Louis Vuitton on a high-end profile collaboration, it was well known far beyond the skater community. Sales had reached to roughly $200 million. According to VF Corporation, and we still was growing fast. To skaters and fashion insiders, wherever the subculture appeared, it had already was long gone. But it's only one ingredient that shapes a brand's image. Last year, a group of researchers led by Caleb Warren, an associate professor of marketing at the University of Arizona, published a study examining to determine whether shoppers perceive a brand as cool. They identified 10 traits, including subculture appeal, as well as factors such as originality, authenticity, rebelliousness, energy, aesthetic appeal. One important quality underlining many of these traits was what they call autonomy, meaning the brand charts its own course regardless of what others expect. They conduct a study with different focus groups, including one made up 148 members of Reddit streetwear community and Theory, Supreme's core audience. Part of the reason we did this study is to see how cool different from people who are in the subculture versus more of the mainstream, Warren said. They had totally different perception of what about brands are cool. The brands I remember standing out the most was Supreme, which to people outside the subculture is a cool brand. But within them, they're like, oh no, everybody wears Supreme. For them, it was like a popular mass brand. In research, Warren distinguished between what they call a niche cool and mass cool. The former refers in what a particular subculture considers, but the general population has been adopted. The latter is what the mass cool can think. Typical, a product brand idea first becomes cool within a... Hey, we might see Supreme at Marshalls one day or Ross, you know what I mean, since they bought that. So it's a beautiful thing. We'll see where it goes. Let's wrap it out.